What's going on, everyone? And thank you for joining us for another edition of the Bleed Los Podcast Christmas episode. We're reviewing the back to back championship year, talking about our holiday season, and looking ahead to a new year with a chance to three-peat in 2026. All that and more coming up next. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. We have Anthony in the house, producer Roger behind the scenes, and as you know, I'm Drea. A little disclaimer for tonight, we are going to lean into the holiday season in this episode so our listeners can get to know us just a little bit better, and maybe we'll have a little bit of Dodger talk mixed in here and there. But before we get into it all, we want to tell you about DodgersBeat.com. Stay up to date and in the know with all of the latest and most comprehensive coverage of the LA Dodgers. It is your one-stop for articles, interviews, contests, merch, and more. Never miss a beat, and check out DodgersBeat.com. What's going on, Anthony? Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. This is also one of my favorite times of year. It just feels like everyone's kind of more jolly, happy towards the end of the year. Kind of everyone's on that let's just get to the new year, 2025. I'm happy to be here, or 2026, my bad. I'm just happy to be here, happy to be festive. As you can see, I have my little Santa hat on, got my cool new sweater on, so I'm ready to talk anything, basically.
Oh my God. Shout out to producer Roger. I had a little, and you had it too, a little elf came to our doorstep today to deliver our Christmas present. So thank you, producer Roger. I'm going to be rocking that sweater this week. So very exciting. And I think it just would be a really good way to just start the show, because one of the highlights of 2025 for both you, me, and you, Anthony, as well, was just getting to join this show and to be a part of it. I still have to wake up every day and pinch myself that I get to do this. And I just want to just give just a shout out to Roger, because I mean, just to take a chance on me. And I'm sure you can echo that, Anthony, right?
Yeah, it's actually coming up on the year anniversary of when I first sent an email. Well, I saw a graphic first on Twitter, and my initial feeling was I wasn't gonna send anything out. Like I kind of was like, why even bother? Like I've been turned down prior times before, not by companies, but like I've always just heard no. But I don't know, for whatever reason, something in my head just said, what's the worst you can hear? Just send an email, reach out. It took a little while, but I got into contact with producer Raj, and I don't regret it. It's been a kind of a roller coaster ride. I'm glad that I finally just, to start the year last year, just said, F it, just send an email. What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is they don't read it or they hit you back. And so I'm kind of glad that I decided to take that risk. I started off as the graphics guy, and now I'm a host of this podcast with you. So it's been an awesome ride.
It has been so awesome. And since we have joined, and just a little bit before, I mean, we've had back-to-back titles. And I feel like if there was ever a time to be a podcaster and talk Dodgers, this is it. So I feel like everything has just been lining up so well. So I'm very excited. I got to meet you last year at the stadium. Hopefully we can meet up again and just have really, great times ahead for Dodger baseball. But yeah, I will just kind of wrap up just a few things that happened in Dodger world since we last spoke. We obviously signed Edwin Díaz. We had the Edwin Díaz welcome to the Dodgers episode, but he had his presser since then. I'm sure you saw it, and it sounds to me, based on like the way that he was talking, the way that we've heard him say little things in interviews since that time, that he pretty much wasn't going back to the Mets. Like, it was the Dodgers that he had his eye on. Maybe it was his brother. Maybe it was just that he wanted to have a winning, a championship potential in his future. Did you kind of get that impression? Like, he was never going to go back to the Mets.
Yeah, I kind of got the impression as well, too, when he said like he felt like he was being disrespected by the Mets, like their initial offer. And he said it himself that he went to the Dodgers with the offer, and the Dodgers were like, yeah, we'll take it. And it kind of left him by like surprise. I'm like, oh, like, I think he was probably expecting negotiation. I didn't think he was going to expect the Dodgers to say, like, is that what you want? Like, yeah, can you start for us tomorrow kind of deal? I feel like a lot of people can relate to that when you're, like, working at a place and, like, you know what, I've been working here for a while. I feel like I deserve a slight pay raise. Like, let me go to my boss. And before you even, like, you like, will up the energy, like, yeah, I'm going to go tell him, like, I deserve this. And, like, the boss looks at the numbers like, yeah, sure. And then you're kind of just left like, well, I had like this whole speech and like spiel, like trying to sell myself, but like, all right, cool. Like, where do I sign, basically? So I kind of took it as that. I think the signing of Devin Williams and them not letting them know, like, hey, like, were
Wow.
interested in him too. Like, kind of a heads up. If they probably call him in advance and tell him like, hey, like, you're our guy, but like we want to solidify the bullpen in front of you, so like it gives you like a better chance to be more effective late down the stretch into September or October, so you don't feel like the pressure is all on you.
Right.
So be it. But I think there was just a lot of things that just kind of added up, and he kind of just was fed up and said, you know what, I just want to try something else.
It's kind of like, did you get the impression it was like a Freddie Freeman style situation, kind of with the Matt Olson? Like he kind of, Freddie felt like, what's going on here? Is it me you want, or is it, him you want? I mean, Andrew Freeman must not be able to believe his good luck sometimes, right?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit to do with both. At least with Freddie, Freddie has ties to Southern California. He's being raised here. I also didn't think he would be someone that would ever have left his original organization. I always thought he would just retire with the Braves. Edwin Diaz, I kind of assumed that he was going to move on. I just didn't think we were a realistic option, just from the standpoint from the rumors that were going on early on before the winter meetings and the GM meetings. Are like, oh yeah, they're interested in high leverage guys, but I don't think they'll be in play for an Edwin Diaz kind of deal, stuff like that. So I don't know. I think a lot just kind of played in our favor. It kind of helped that we had Alexis Diaz on the roster for a while too, and it kind of left a good impression for them, because oftentimes when you work at different companies as well, if I know someone at a different company, I'm like, hey, like, so what's the lifestyle over there? Like, do they treat their employees well? Like, how do you guys do this and that? It's
Right.
always just like a word of mouth kind of deal. Like, if I have a good impression of something that's going on over here, I'm gonna tell someone like, yeah, like they've treated me well. I can't really complain. Like, I hate to say the cliche, they kind of treat me like a family kind of deal, but it's kind of stuff like that. So a lot of these players talk in the off season. They're all buddy buddy with each other. You don't think they're leaving like good reviews, like, hey, like, yeah, like over here in like the Dodgers, they treat you like royalty. Basically, it doesn't matter if you're like the last guy on the bench; they're gonna treat you the same way they treat Otani, basically. And then you can't say the same for other organizations, unfortunately. So it's kind of just like you trust what the players are saying, because they deal with it every day, basically.
It's like MLB Yelp. It's like, they keep in
Yeah,
touch. It's like, yeah. And Dodgers have the 5 stars. And you know that. Just one more thing on that, because I kind of died twice when I heard this. I had no idea that Edwin Diaz's nickname was Sugar. Did you know this? I like
I didn't know
completely
that either.
ignorant
No,
of it.
I
I
want
mean,
to
it's
go follow him on Instagram, and his Instagram handle is Sugar Diaz. Yeah.
no clue. I like literally like could not. I think I just yelled when he said that. Was so hilarious. But yeah, so welcome again. I don't know who else we're gonna get, but Edwin Diaz. If it would stop there, I'd be happy. But I still have a feeling some stuff is coming up the pipeline, so we'll talk about that. And then I just want to kind of wrap it with some WBC news, because we know a couple more things since last week. We know that Mookie Betts said that he was not going to be going to the WBC or playing in the WBC this year. Wife is pregnant, so congratulations on that. We likely know Freddie won't, based on just some kind of things we've heard and chatter about his health and kind of getting himself back on of a pace to make sure that he is good to go for the season. We know that Yoshi's going to pitch, Rocky's not, and we also know that Tarek Skubal is going to be pitching. So what did you get from like kind of how the WBC is rounding out, because we are getting super close?
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I'm kind of happy some of these guys are deciding to kind of pass on it. Just because it's 2 years in a row now where you've played deep into October, you played into November this year, and you kind of have the older team, and you kind of just want them to kind of take it easy. Like, I know it's representing your country. We've talked about, like, it's such a great honor to go out there and wear it, whether it's USA, Dominican Republic, Team Japan, whatever country they're coming from and they're representing it. It's such a unique honor. It's not really bestowed to a lot of players. It's such a very, as you see with Team DR, there's like a lot of good players that are going to be left off because there's just so many of them that are really, really elite players. So it's very unfortunate for them, but I think in the long run, I think they'll think about like the long term, especially when I say September and October are our most important months for us. I don't really think spring training they'll play spring training, but it's going to be those situations where, like, yeah, Mookie's playing, he's going to start, but after 3 innings he's going to grab his bag and he's going to hit the shower and he'll be on his way home for the rest of the day. So I think they're going to slow play these guys. It's pretty smart for them to kind of get their rest. I think Teoscar Hernandez said the same thing as well. Like, he's just tired and he just wants to rest and gets back to his healthy self to start the new season. So it's a little disappointing we won't see a bunch of them there, but we'll still see Yoshi play. We'll still see Shohei play. I expect Will Smith to have a good tournament as well too. So I'm excited for the guys who are going to participate, but I'm more excited that some of them said, you know what, I need a breather, basically.
They do. I mean, I get it. I love the WBC, but I also understand the importance of, resting up. I mean, every year, even though it's just 1 year in baseball years is a lot to kind of put your body through that. So we definitely want to keep them in the window that we have Mookie Betts and we have Freddie Freeman, we have these guys. We want to make sure that we are keeping them as healthy as possible because I want to three-peat. I am not going to be shy about saying that. I know it sounds greedy, but I just don't care anymore. I want to be greedy and I want championships, and I'm sure you do too. But let's kind of travel through the year, talk about just some highlights and things that happened this year that were just so amazing. And I think that I'll just start off with we had a roller coaster of a season. The bullpen gave us a heart attack every other day. We, thought that Tanner Scott was going to be like, the Edwin Díaz, and things didn't pan out that way. But hey, he could have a great season coming up. We had Michael Conforto. That was interesting. But it ended okay. What is, if you could describe the season in just one word, how would you describe this season?
I think you used the perfect one, roller coaster. It was like from beginning to end. They started off very hot. We thought they were going to just basically win every game imaginable, and then they went into that crazy low mid-season, like from the All-Star break, basically a little bit before that. It felt like towards the end of basically the year, and then you think you're going to get a normal playoff postseason run, and they were basically. It didn't feel like they were. Well, apart from the Red Series, that's the only series where I felt like, yeah, we're kind of going to dominate this, but they were losing in essentially the entirety of the Philadelphia series. The roller coaster ride that was the World Series, probably the greatest World Series we've seen from beginning to end. Game 7 specifically, that's a ginormous roller coaster. The extra inning game as well. It felt like it. Well, if you look at it, they played 8 games in the World Series because that extra inning game went 18 innings. So
Right.
that's basically played 8 games. It just felt like beginning to end. Once you thought the Dodgers were gonna find their groove, and they played like we talked about it through text and a lot. Like they had a 4-game stretch where like, damn, they're back, and then they'll hit you with like a 4-game stretch like, damn, this is awful. Like what happened? So it's such like an inconsistency on both sides, whether it was pitching, the bullpen, the offense as well too. It just felt like you were always gonna just see something different. It felt like there was a potential of winning the game like 5-0, or there was a potential you would be down like 7-0 before like the 5th inning. So it was kind of just a roller coaster all throughout. That's the perfect word to describe the season: roller coaster.
I think so. I mean, I'm so glad that our audience can't see some of those things that I said in those text chains that we had because I probably was a little too animated, and but I get that way with games. I mean, I am, so invested. I tell myself Dodgers won't affect me and I'll keep my emotions in check when I'm watching games, and that never ever happens. I do not know how I got through the season. I have to give a shout out to my brother because there was many times I watched games here at my house with my brother. He's like my bestie. We go to games together, and we sometimes I just can't stand it. I want to leave the room. I can't watch it when I'm bracing for a loss. Sometimes when I think that that's happening, and he would hold me accountable. He would make me practically like tape my eyelids back, like watch this game. You want to see this. And thanks to him, I did not miss the Freddie Freeman walk-off grand slam in 2024. I was already picking my black outfit upstairs. I'm like, I'm leaving. We're losing. I'm going to be in mourning tomorrow. And he refused to let me do that. So I got to see it live. And he also was the reason why I ended up seeing all of game 7 and the Andy Pages catch and all of it, because I was ready to just say, okay, we're done here. And I didn't want to feel that heartbreak. But thanks to him. So shout out to my brother Sal. You got me through it. But if you could kind of narrow down out of all those things you mentioned, like we just went through the roller coaster, what was the highlight? What was the stand? If you could relive one moment from 2025, what would that moment be?
Man, there's a lot. Similar to you, I almost missed the ending of Game 7 because we set up for the show. I went into my room and I'm like, okay, let me see if everything's kind of like. Before the inning started, I missed the Kike strikeout, so when I came back, it was already 1 out. I'm like, damn, this ship is sinking quick. But I made it back to see the rest of the entire game. But one thing that stands out to me the most, and I had to pick it out, I always just go back to the trip I took up to San Francisco because I was able to see the unicorn in effect. Basically, it was only for 3 innings, but damn, it was just like something different in the air that day, and he was so dominant. It was the introduction to the piggyback situation because Emmett Sheehan came into that game and he was also pretty dominant. But then again, it circles back to the roller coaster because Tanner Scott comes into the game and he almost gives it up, but ended up pulling through. So it was a win for us. But I always circle back to it because it was supposed to be what still was, it was a birthday trip for my mom, birthday weekend up in San Francisco, first time ever. Well, I wouldn't say first time ever. Well, it was an away game, but I won't count Anaheim because we take that over. So this was an actual away game where I wasn't gonna go back home. I was gonna go to a hotel for the rest of the weekend, basically. But it didn't feel like an away game because there was so much blue throughout the city. It felt like it was just a regular game. I was just in downtown San Francisco enjoying it with a bunch of other Dodger fans, and that's where I came away with a different opinion of Giants fans because they were very, very welcoming. They kind of like, yeah, like this is like awesome, this is cool. Like, yeah, there was like a bunch of like chirping on both sides, but it never got to the point where it was like bad. It was just more about like the plays and stuff like that, and it was actually kind of funny to see it from a perspective of like Giants fans were kind of like in awe of Otani as well too, because like for a lot of them too, it was kind of the first time I ever seen the unicorn in full effect. I know he probably went down there and when he was with the Angels, but for a lot of them, they were kind of left speechless. Like with the people sitting around my area, they're like, "Well, damn, like we don't know what to say," kind of deal. So I don't know. I feel like that's the moment that stands out to me. I know it's kind of ridiculous because it's a regular season game, but like I was in person for that. I enjoyed the whole weekend. Basically, it's just like always something that sticks to me.
Are you going to be traveling this season again? Because I know you're a heavy traveler and you're kind of plotting out where you want to go. Are you going to see another stadium? Are you going to take some trips again that we can hear about?
Well, I'm still hoping I'm going to go to WBC in March. That's the plan, at least for March. And for the rest of the season, I don't know yet, honestly. I would love to go up to Colorado. The stadium just looks awesome, at least when I'm watching it on TV. San Diego, it's kind of up in the air because I feel like it always falls like on a weekend where I'm always like super, super just busy and I can't make the drive down there. So I don't know. I kind of leave it up in the air.
Mhm.
I do want to go to more ballparks, but I just right now it's kind of just like we'll just see where we're at. But hopefully, yeah, WBC in Colorado. I do want to do Colorado. Colorado looks really nice.
Yeah, I know. I would love to see it too. Colorado seems like a really good place to check out. I know that Petco Park, I've heard great things about it. I don't like the Padres at all, but everyone who I know who has been there says that it is a pretty legit park. So I'll give them a shout out. But yeah, I'm going to live vicariously through you. So if you want to go to parks, I want to hear all about it. Because you're a traveler. But hey, you never know. This year I might try to get myself out to those places. But I don't know if you had a favorite episode. I'm gonna tell you what mine was because usually when we do these shows for people who don't know, like I'm heavy duty on post-its and notes everywhere. You cannot see it, but it is crazy. And I try to prepare as much as possible because you just simply don't know if you're going to win or lose, especially when we're going live after the playoff games. And the 18 inning game is absolutely my favorite. I know that was so stressful because I had all these notes and none of it followed anything because you can't simply plan for something like that. But it was just kind of hilarious filming at 12 midnight with you, Anthony. And I don't remember what we said. All I remember is I had a blast. What do you have a favorite show or can you join me in that one being your favorite?
It's funny because that's the one I circled too, just because like it was. I hate to say it's authentic, but that was really our authentic reaction. Because for me, at least, I had a long day at work. I get home. I have like maybe an hour before game time. I don't remember if we did a pregame. I don't think we did.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, okay, I got an hour to myself. Let me take a nap. Let me just like get the energy back up.
Yeah.
And when I woke up from that nap, I didn't expect to sit on in front of a TV for like 8 hours. I put in a double shift that day, and then for the most part, I was getting texts from a lot of coworkers and friends, jokingly asked me like, "Oh, so you're gonna go live after this? Or you're gonna go live after this?"
Me
I'm
too.
like, and I kept sending the message back like, "I don't even know if this game is gonna end. Like, we might be here like at 7 a.m. and like it's like the 30th inning or 50th inning or something."
Yeah.
Um, but I always tell people like, yeah, that was a real generic, authentic reaction. Like that was like maybe 5 minutes after the game. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that was like, I don't remember anything that was said. I just knew I was happy. I was
Yeah.
tired. I was delirious. I was excited. And I was like, oh man, it's 1 a.m. I got work in like 5 hours. Like I got to go to bed basically. So I couldn't imagine like what the Dodger players kind of felt. Because if
Yeah.
we were tired, I just can't imagine what they felt. And you saw it the next 2 games; they were out there flat. They just had no energy. So yeah, that's kind of the episode that sticks out to me is that one.
That's my favorite. I think that was just so organic, and I mean, I couldn't only imagine what our episode would have been like if we had lost, because we still would have gone live. Sucked, but we won, and thanks to Freddie Freeman. So he is my absolute hero. He always will be. Hopefully, I get to meet him one day. He's one Dodger I dream of meeting. So, producer Roger, please set that up for me if you ever can set that up. Connection. But yes, so we did win the World Series 2 times in a row. Hopefully we go through the three-peat, but we're still kind of in the glow of it. I know it's going to wear off at some point, but when do we have to just let that World Series glow go? What's the day when we finally have to turn the page? And
for me, it's when pitchers and catchers first report, that very first day, whatever that day is. I think it's usually like in late February.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm like, okay, let's turn the page, because now you start getting all those like cliches from like all over the league, basically like, oh, I'm in the best shape of my life, I added 20 pounds of muscle, I added a new pitch, I'm like some delivery in my rotation, all this and that. That's kind of, I'm like, okay, we're back, let's like turn the page and like let's try to repeat again. So that's kind of when I flipped the page, basically. And for a lot of players too, you hear it too as well, like when they came back last year, they're like, yeah, last year was cool, but like let's try to repeat this year kind of deal situation. So that very first day, pitchers and catchers, maybe when the full squad's there, that's kind of when like, okay, like most of these guys, let's flip the page, because then you got a bunch of new faces in the clubhouse as well too, and they didn't win the championship last year.
That's true. I mean, they're all on vacation right now. Then they go to Driveline, they beef up, and they turn the page. Okay. I'm thinking maybe it's Dodger Fest. I don't know if you've ever been. They used to call it Fan Fest. I've been for a few years now. And it's kind of changed. Last year they were doing like construction in the stadium, so they had it on the outskirts, a little different. And used to be able to kind of meet players pretty easily. Now there's kind of either a high charge to meet them, or it's just hard to get near them. And I think that happened after Shohei. I noticed it was really difficult. The security was beefed up. Have you been to a Fan Fest or a Dodger Fest?
No, I've always wanted to. It just never lined up. But yeah, I did see last year the construction kind of like dampened it. It was kind of smaller. Still a huge event, but it was smaller considering. I remember from previous years they let you guys be on the field and all stuff like that, kind of just exploring. So, but yeah, kind of I think things all changed when a mega star, a unicorn, kind of just lands on your lap. Well, 2 of them now, and if you want to consider Yamamoto on there as well too, when you get 2 unicorns just at your front yard, extra security is probably needed. Yeah.
I think when you think of Yamamoto, what he just did, I mean, he's the king. He's the absolute GOAT. And Shohei will always be, just the unmatched star of the Dodgers. But we don't have back-to-back championships without Yamamoto. We just don't. And I'm going to need our bullpen when Yamamoto gives you 8 2/3 inning and all you need is 1 out. I'm going to need you to like back up your boy and get that 1 out, so we don't have to have those moments again. But yeah, I think Yamamoto, he could go for the Cy Young. Would you agree? Could it happen?
I think so too. Yeah, I think now I'm kind of looking at it at a selfish perspective. Like I kind of want these guys to get like individual accomplishments. Like we've done the team accomplishments, but now personally, like I want them to do individual stuff, like a Yamamoto Cy Young, another Shohei MVP, or maybe even like a Will Smith MVP. Had the numbers this year, but got hurt, kind of deal. Just for like to help solidify their cases as potential future Hall of Famers. Now they have the individual hardware along with the team hardware. So it kind of makes their case kind of easy down the line whenever they do retire and their name is kind of on that ballot. But yeah, that's kind of more of a selfish standpoint. I would also love them to just keep winning multiple world championships. That would be awesome as well too.
I mean, I know that there's still chatter about Tarek Skubal, and definitely want to talk about him a little bit later on. But I mean, he's incredible. But would you think that Yamamoto is the best pitcher in MLB right now? Would you agree to that?
Ah, man, it's hard because I love Skubal. Yeah. Yamamoto, I see. I'm gonna do it through my Dodger glasses. I think Yamamoto, just because he's done it on the biggest stage possible 2 years in a row, which is the World Series. Unfortunately for Skubal, he hasn't gotten that far yet. Now, let's say if we do trade for him and like he does it on the biggest stage possible, then it's kind of like, well, it's an argument now. Like, who would you rather have, him or him? And like, I don't think there's a wrong answer at that point. You're kind of just picking what you prefer. Would you prefer a right-handed guy or a left-handed guy at that point? And I'd probably answer like, well, I want to see the other team. What's the matchup like how many right-handed bats they got, how many left-handed hats they got, stuff like that. But I think Yamamoto for me is number one, and then I would put Scooble that number two. And I love this guy, so Paul Skeens is kind of number three, but unfortunately he plays for a very, very bad team in the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm also forgetting Garrett Crochet as well too. He's a monster as well too. There's a lot of guys throughout the league that are just animals, and I love seeing them pitch. And like whenever they're playing a game, and like I see that they're scheduled to throw, I will sit down and I will watch them throw at least. And I won't watch the rest of the game once they're out. But I'm kind of just like a pitching guy. Like I like seeing like the top guys, like the aces of the aces go. I get that a lot from my when I was a kid. I used to watch a lot of Braves games because my grandpa was a Atlanta Braves guy, and he had me sit down. He had me watch Maddox. He had me watch Glavine. He had me watch Schmaltz, you name him, basically. So that's where I got it from. Like, I love just watching a bunch of, like, the high elite level guys just go out there and just dominate. And luckily, I was spoiled because in the mornings I would watch the Braves. And then there was this young left-handed guy who the Dodgers drafted, wore number 22, played for us for almost 17, 18 years. And I got to grow up watching him play every 5 games. So I've been pretty spoiled when it comes to pitching, starting pitching.
I mean, I love the fact that we've had such legends as Dodger pitchers. I mean, when you really think about the totality of the Dodgers franchise and the people that have come through, we are just so blessed. And if I know, knock on wood, if we were to get, I mean, first of all, I love Tarek Skubal. I love him. I don't know if it's going to happen, but just the fact that there's talk about it. I mean, the guy's so nasty. I mean, his pitches should be illegal in 6 states. I just adore him. But how angry, how crazy would the internet get if he became a Dodger in this next
game? Yeah, they would. It would melt the internet. It's one of those things where I kind of think it'll happen, but at the same time, I don't know. The extension thing kind of gets to me just because of whose representative is Mr. Boris. I don't think he's gonna want him to sign that extension. I think he's gonna push him to free agency. But I think if it came down to it, if the extension is kind of holding it up, I'm like, it's either you sign the extension or you're gonna have to play for the Tigers, and we'll see where we're at the trade deadline because I don't want to take that risk. And then like he just says like I just don't want to be here, and he goes and signs for, I don't know, I'll throw the Giants out there, the Giants, and I'm like, well, I gave up all this capital, and now you're playing for my rival that's up the bay. I'm like, I don't know about all that, but I don't know. I don't think a trade's actually going to happen. I think it's just kind of more talk than it is. Now maybe at the trade deadline, there's a team that's desperate and think like, hey, like we're a starting pitcher away. Like let's just go all in, basically, kind of deal. And like I think that's when it'll happen. But right now in the offseason, I think it's kind of just more talk. I don't think anything really is going to happen.
But then we also thought we weren't going to get Edwin Díaz, and this one manifested it. So
yeah.
No.
I don't know. I think all the work is done, at least for this year. I think they're going to, January is when, if any movement happens, I think that's when you'll wait for it. It's January.
Okay, let me get your thoughts on this then. There's been chatter around my boy Bellinger. We talked about him before, and Tucker. Do you think that the longer time goes on, that there is a higher probability that we can get either one of them, or will get either one of them on maybe a shorter term deal, high AAV?
Yeah, I think those guys, if they don't sign early on into January, I think there'll be names that you'll see like kind of heading into like the start of spring training. Because I remember, I think Machado signed like maybe a week or two before spring training. I might be wrong. It's a long time ago.
No,
it was either during spring training or like a week right before it. So I don't know. I think they're going to hold out, but the market's been very, very slow. I don't think they realize that a lot of teams aren't willing to kind of spend the money that they're asking for. I think teams are kind of, well, I know Cody says he doesn't think there's a lockout pending, but I still in the back of my head feel like we might be heading towards a very long and cold winter a year from now.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think guys they're either have all the offers on the table and are just waiting until the end of the holidays to decide, okay, well, I want to go play in Toronto. I'm going to go play in New York. I'm going to go play for the Dodgers. I'm going to go play for the Mets. So be it. So I don't think there's anything new that a team is going to offer them. They're going to be like, yeah, that's the reason. Yeah, I'm picking you because you added, I don't know, $5 million more compared to this other team. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars. Like they're not being held up by like $5 million. Like maybe it's terms and stuff like that, like certain terms to the deals and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think we're just waiting to the start of the year and we'll start seeing like some of these big apples kind of fall off the tree.
Do you think that the playoff teams that we've traditionally seen the last couple of years are going to kind of still stay the same in 2026, or do you think there's going to be like a team that's kind of like a dark horse that's going to come through and like, oh, okay, they're making stuff happen?
Okay, so it was
wasn't the Mets. The Mets didn't get in, which was crazy.
Well, the Mets actually traded Jeff McNeil today, which was a kind of a sign that they're kind of leaning towards heavy Lindor and Soto. Because the guy they got back for the trade was a lower level minor leaguer. So it wasn't even a major leaguer unless they feel they're in play for Bichette. Because I know Bichette said he's willing to play second base for a lot of teams. So maybe they feel like Bo Bichette's an actual realistic option for them. And now you got Bichette, Lindor, and Soto to kind of build around. I know you lost Pete Alonso as a big loss for them. So I don't know. Maybe the Mets are a secret team for Bichette, but we'll see. It's hard to think about a potential because I think the Phillies would be good just because of their talent. But I also
Braves maybe. Do you think the Braves?
I think I think they
because I'm so like into my mind always thinks of Braves, and then they've kind of fallen off in the recent memory, but I just don't see them just being completely out of it.
I look towards our division. I know it's kind of hard, but the Giants were like 500, and like if they add I don't think they're going to add a piece or two, but if they do add a piece or two, I think they get a little bit better. And they're not necessarily chasing us. They just in their back of their head have to be like, we have to be better than just the Padres. Like if we just ignore the Dodgers, like we can beat that team, basically the Padres. So it always comes down to them. I know that Arizona was interested in trading Marte. I think it's kind of dumb. Like, why would you want to trade your guy? That doesn't make sense to me. You kind of just build around him and Corbin Carroll out there, especially Carroll's going to get that experience in the WBC, kind of playing at a big stage, big level for him. So I think the Cubs, if I had to pick one, but losing a Tucker would hurt, but I think they did enough. That division is kind of like, it feels like it's kind of always a toss-up between them and Milwaukee. And Milwaukee was really good this year, and I don't know if they can necessarily repeat that same success they had going forward. I know they were the little underdog that could, the little engine that could, but I still think the Cubs are kind of a sneaky team to kind of win that division and probably make a lot of noise.
Hey, last team that I want to just ask you about, since the Orioles just got Pete Alonso, do you think that could be, a little boost that they need to kind of put themselves over the edge?
Yeah, it kind of, I hate to say it, but it kind of gives them like an adult in the room. Pete Alonso is an adult. A lot of those guys on the Orioles are on the young side. It's kind of like puppies try to lead puppies, and now you got your big dog, Pete Alonso, all-star. He's kind of a leader. Lead by example kind of deal. So now you finally have like someone that these young guys can kind of gravitate to, like, okay, this is what it's like to be a professional. And that's not a slight against like any of the old vets they had, but Pete Alonso is going to be making a lot of all-star games as well too.
Yeah.
Especially in Baltimore. It kind of like, if he could do it with the Mets, he can do it in Baltimore. Baltimore is such a smaller expectation level there as well too. Kind of hard to hit home runs in that stadium, though, like just with the dimensions and stuff. But like, I do like Baltimore going forward. I don't know if I like them to make the playoffs immediately, just considering who's in their division, the division of death and doom, basically. The Red Sox, the Jays, the Yankees, and the Rays kind of sneaky as well, too. So I don't know if I like them to like make the playoffs necessarily right out the gate. It might be a year or two, but hey, this is a step in the right direction. You finally got like an adult in the room, basically, that kind of teaches these young guys how to play at the major league level.
I like it. Well, we have, just competitive baseball still. I mean, everyone's like, oh, the Dodgers are taking all the talent, but the talent isn't all in the Dodgers. There are incredible teams with incredible players that I think are going to give us a really great 2026. But yeah, just kind of switching gears a little bit. Obviously, Christmas, what day are we? We're on the 22nd when we're filming this. Is that right?
Yeah, 22nd.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got Christmas Eve coming up. We got Christmas, we've got New Year's, and we may or may not have another episode before New Year's, depending on breaking news, but we'll see. But I kind of just want to get like a little, background on you. What do you do for the holidays? What are your personal traditions on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Christmas week?
So Christmas Eve day, growing up, we used to always open our gifts right at midnight, so from like Eve to day, and we basically would stay up the whole night, whether it was with family, opening gifts, playing with toys, etc., etc. Now we've sort of transitioned. We don't have that many kids around the house no more. Everyone's kind of grown up. Everyone's an adult. And everyone works now. The great thing about working is that you're usually tired at midnight, regardless of the day. So, yeah, we'll have Christmas Eve dinner, usually around 7, 8. Kind of hang out as a family, play games, and then at 1 o'clock, it's kind of like when we'll like, okay, like we'll go back home, and then we'll come back Christmas Day, and we'll kind of open our gifts and stuff like that now. Plus, it helps that there's a bunch of NBA games. There's a bunch of NFL games now. So,
Now
and
NFL.
plus we play our own games as well too. We play Loteria, we play cards, we play domino. You name it, basically. Any way to lose money. We're not. It's funny because like we say like we're losing money, but like I think the biggest anyone's ever won has been like $10. It's just like loose change that we all have in our wallet, basically, and then it's just a fun time to be around. We played a bunch of Uno. Uno gets very competitive, especially when you have people trying to make their own like rules and don't stay to the traditional rules of Uno. Connect Four as well too. So there's a lot of things we do, and then on my dad's side now, that's where most of my older cousins are at. So now we do our white elephant thing, kind of like that's kind of become our tradition. It's funny because like I don't think they'll see this episode, but I normally do like a gag gift. Just because it's funny.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, I do it with family. Like if I'm doing it like at work, I'm not gonna like. I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, he like did this. No, I'll do it more with family, kind of just like because I know they'll get it. It's kind of like inside jokes that we all have with each other anyway. So like it's stuff like I remember last year I got a ginormous pillow and it was like a picture of my cousins. It looked like a prom photo, like like those photos I used to take at if it was JC Penney or stuff like that, like the ones that used to pay like those photo shoots.
Yeah.
And like it's one of those pictures like that someone sends as a joke like in the beginning of the year, and I'm like, oh, this is a mistake. They should have never sent this photo because they're gonna see this again at White Elephant. So I saved it, and when I opened it up, they opened it up. It was a hit because they're dying of laughter. I'm not gonna expose who the people are, but it's stuff like that, kind of just like inside jokes that we all have with each other. At work, definitely no. I went to TJ Maxx and I got a pretty decent gift. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this with people I don't really know that well. This is gonna not hit as well as I do with other people. But yeah, it's kind of become our little tradition. We also we do a lot of movie watching. So we consider this our like family movie, the first Home Alone. That's kind of our like Christmas quote unquote movie. For me, I also like The Grinch. I love the original one with Jim Carrey is awesome. That's the one I'm talking about. That's the one where, yeah, if you have that on, I'll watch it.
I like that. We usually have that on in the background. This year I'm going to host again, and we kind of switch around in our family who hosts. But this year it looks like it's going to be this one. So getting the house all ready for that. But yeah, we usually kind of have different televisions going on, and there's usually one of those movies playing. Definitely Home Alone is a favorite of mine. We do White Elephant too. We used to do where everyone got a gift, but that got crazy expensive. So we kind of just split it up. I didn't fully appreciate as a kid how crazy it was to put on a Christmas production. And now, shout out to all the moms and dads who do all of that because it is a lot of work and it takes a while to prep. But I'm just about there. My sister does White Elephant. She's usually good at it. I don't know what she's going to do this year, but she does like cold hard cash where she freezes like money in like the freezer in like a tin. And then you pick that, though some years she doesn't do it, but it's kind of cool because we get like gift cards, we get like things, but they're frozen. So you unfreeze them. So it's kind of fun. So she's really good at kind of picking things out that we like really the stuff you never would have thought of. But then she's like, oh, I like the ways, creative way she gives things. So really fun. We always have a good time. We dance. We have like a dance party and we kind of put on like, little strobe lights and stuff. And we love to just have music playing. And it was my grandma who's no longer with us. She liked to just have kind of like just different kinds of music. And so just to honor her, we just make sure we put some music on. We all dance at the end of the night. But yeah, we do stay up and we open our gifts and it's a lot of fun. So very exciting. Do you have a gift that you put on your list? Do you tell people, hey, this is what I want, get this for me, or you just kind of are surprised with your gifts?
See, I think growing up, I was more like, especially when you're writing your list to Santa and stuff like that. I was kind of more like, I would specifically want like this item. Now, as an adult, I'm like, no, I'm kind of just thankful like you even considered buying me something kind of deal. I really don't ask for much normally, because if I do want something, I would buy it.
My first second.
Uh, yeah. A lot of the stuff I do get now is actually kind of cool because like it's either like baseball related or it's like Dodger related or like music related, some of my favorite artists and stuff like that. So like I really can tell like, wow, you really actually like you put a thought behind this, basically. Like, yeah, this is awesome. Trying to think like the best thing I got more recently. Oh man, I think my sister, she puts a lot of thought into like a lot of the things she gets us. Like she got me like this ginormous, like I'm seeing it right now, this canvas of like LeBron James when he played his first game as a
Okay.
Laker. It was kind of like,
Yes.
it's funny because like there's a story behind it. So that year it was 2019. Yeah, it was 2019 because it was before COVID and all that happened. The Lakers had just lost their game to the Clippers, and they were up the whole like
Oh, yeah.
the whole game, and they blew it at the end. And here I am, Mr. Hothead, just hot because like the game just ended, and it's like I always tell people like you got to give me like 10 minutes or like 15 minutes after a game to kind of just like get my thoughts back together, and like I'll be fine. Like it's just the game at the end of the day. Do not like come to me like immediately after a game. And this one was like one of those deals where like, oh man, I'm in my head like, how did we lose that game? How did we lose that game? And I'm like trying to compose myself, and my sister comes up to me like, hey, you didn't open your like, I purposely left it. I'm like, oh, I didn't open your gift. And I'm like, yeah, my bad. I just like it slipped my mind, and like the last thing that I wanted to open up was a LeBron James canvas because he kind of was the reason we
Yes.
lost that game, and like it just set me off. But like what ended up happening was like I was just like dying of laughter. It kind of just like relieved the tension on like there's just no way like this is like
Yes.
perfect timing on that point. So I ended up forgetting about the game and just ended up just hanging out with my brother and like my uncle, just like talking about stuff. Like it was a good just like tension reliever. Like there's no way like in this moment I was gonna open up a LeBron canvas basically after that. So it was kind of just a way to like let the air out basically.
Thank you for reminding me that we just
Yeah.
lost. No, but that's a sweet thing. I kind of felt that way this week when the Rams lost. I mean, no secret, I love the Rams and they just played the Seahawks, and it was a game we needed to win, and they did not win. And I'm still, salty about all of that. But, sports and me, and, you love your sports teams. We love our sports teams. And so it does get a little bit heated in my household too when our teams don't make it happen. But yeah, definitely going to be excited to see all the sports on Christmas Day. That's fun. I used to watch the Disney parade. Now I'm just like, what time is the game on? What are we
Yeah.
watching?
Yeah.
Let's eat. Let's get this done. Let's watch some games. But yeah, my favorite gift, and will always be my favorite gift, is anything Dodger related, which is what most people get me. But yeah, Anthony, if you want to get me anything, it'll be opening day tickets. So just throwing it out there. If
Uh,
you want to be bold and say Dre.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
no.
might have to watch that from outside the stadium. Yeah. I've actually been to opening day, but not here. And the only time I
Okay.
went to San Diego, this is before, I think it was like 2014. Yeah, it was 2014.
Okay.
This is why I say like there's a difference now when you go to a game in San Diego compared to like 2014, because in 2014 it was a bunch of Dodger fans there.
That's right.
And I remember the game. We won the game. I think Puig had a 2-run homer, if I'm not mistaken. Greinke pitched that day as well too, and I think Kenley was the guy who got the save at the end. But yeah, that's the only opening day game I've been to. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice,
Awesome.
even if on a away game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, again, opening day is the best, and it's actually my birthday week. So for anyone out there like who wants to take up a GoFundMe for my birthday week and for opening day tickets, and I will take that. But yes, definitely gonna ask you a question about how. I don't know if you decorate. I'm not sure what your tree looks like. We do a Dodger tree here at this house, and getting new ornaments for it. And I am going to buy. I don't know if you saw it, it's everywhere now, but the Pajes Kike ornament. Um,
No, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I got it. I'm getting it. But if you had to pick, you can only get one of these. I'm going to name two ornaments and tell me why. If you had to pick between the Kike Pajes catch ornament or the Freddie Freeman walk-off grand slam holding up the bat, which one do you go for?
I would probably do Freddie Freeman, just because he did it in back-to-back World Series, and it's kind of a good reminder of both years.
Okay.
That's kind of where I would pick that one. Yeah, we do decorate, and it's funny because the only Dodger ornament we had, well, we had a few, but they broke through just years of just use.
Yeah.
The last one we have is like one from the 2020 World Series. Yeah. I think it's one of those things like where like when you start taking Christmas decorations down and you're not too careful, you just knock one over on accident. And you're like, oh, I hope no one notices that this one's broken, and just kind of just sweep it real quick. Basically, yeah, that's what ended up happening.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I know people with cats, and they the cats tend to like I don't know, destroy Christmas trees. We don't have a cat, but I don't think I'd get a Christmas tree and a cat in the same house because I've seen a lot of ornaments break with certain pets. So definitely would pick. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm going to go with you. That was one of the bobbleheads that I really wanted to get this past year. Was the Freddie Freeman walk-off grand slam. And there's certain bobbleheads that I'm going to be there for sure. They obviously released the promotion calendar, I think late January, early February. But if there is a promotion this coming 2026 that you would be like, I will be there for that bobblehead. I'll be there for that promotion. What do you hope they do, or what do you hope to be there for?
Man, there's a lot. Because this year that's why I went to a lot of games this year, because I'm like, oh, I want to go to all the championship stuff. Like, you got to like live in the moment. You don't know if you're going to go back. And here we are. We're talking about going back to back.
Right.
So now I'm like, well, I got to plan again for like what promotions I want to go to. But I don't know. I think last year I got a ring. I got the trophy. I got the Freddie Freeman walk-off bobblehead. I got a lot of stuff. But the one thing that I'm missing, and I hope they do it just kind of like as a thank you. If they do have another Kershaw bobblehead, I would love to go to that, because that's the one thing I don't have here. I'm looking just looking at my stuff. I have a bunch of guys up there, but I don't really have him. I feel like every time when I was younger, this is the issue, because when you're younger, you kind of have to rely on going to the game. Now that I'm older, I can go to the game basically whenever I'm free. Like, if you're ready to go at, I don't know, 3:00, let's go, basically kind of deal. So if they do announce, even if it's not next year, but like in future years, like when they decide to retire his jersey or something like that, or give him a statue, I would love to kind of have one of those like mementos. And then if I had to pick another moment, just because I think I'm going to end up getting his gold jersey, if they have a Yamamoto bobblehead night, I will be there, because I think I'm going to get his, just for like how every time I think of it, just the dominance. Last year I bought Freddie Freeman's World Series gold jersey, just because like I always want to be remembered of Freddie Freeman was on fire, and like this World Series, I feel like Yamamoto, he's the reason why we're celebrating this. So it's kind of like I would love to go to his bobblehead night, which I'm pretty sure they'll have his bobblehead night.
You know who doesn't have one that I want? That I think will deserve one or should get one this year. What about Miguel Rojas? Will he get a bobblehead?
I think he is going to be a bobblehead guy. I remember, the joke last year was because they had a ring night, and it was kind of like a pick and mix. They had 5 guys on there.
You didn't know who you were going to get.
Yeah, it was Rojas. It was Vesia.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure Teoscar was one of them as well too, and like 2 other guys that I don't remember. And a lot of people were like, "Dude, the last guy that I want to get is Miguel Rojas," just there, because that's the attitude a lot of people have, like the last guy. And I'm pretty sure, I bet you, those people that have the Miguel Rojas ring, they stare at it now and they're like, "Damn, he made me eat my words." So I don't think they'll give a ring for him. I hope they give him a bobblehead. I think they will give him a bobblehead. That's kind of one of those, like, I feel like he's well deserved to have a bobblehead kind of like deal. And especially in Dodger Stadium, I think it's out in the left field pavilion where they have that wall, which is like bobbleheads. Miguel Rojas deserves to have a bobblehead there. So I hope they give him a bobblehead night.
I hope so too. I really like him. I've actually, all the Dodgers, I've been around him the most amount of times. And every single time he has spent not a lot of time with every fan that he's met or when he's talking to people, but more than the average person. They're all kind, but he really gives that extra, like, Just time with people to really listen to what they say, their memories, and it's like that too. Is Freddie Freeman when people I've been around Freddie when he has shared his stories with people, or they've shared their stories about what that Grand Slam meant to him. I personally haven't met him, but I've been nearby when he's just really taking it in, and it really just affects him. Freddie is absolutely um, just such a great Dodger. Miguel Rojas is a great Dodger. I just think we have a really good team of just people that are just they're just not great ball players, but they're good humans. And so I just feel really lucky. And I think Miguel Rojas really fits that bill. But I want to ask you something about this past week. There was news about a share. I don't know if you know what the share is, but when you win the World Series, every member of the team and then the kind of the extended coaching staff and directors and different people associated with a franchise get an extra bonus. And it's kind of built up with like I think all of the revenue that was made from all the playoffs put into like a pool, and then it's kind of split up and it's all kind of decided year by year who gets what share. But the winning team this year, which was the Dodgers, got 484,748. So rounded up $485,000 share. Now that might not be oh my god for someone like Mookie Betts, but for a rookie who's what they make about 700,000 roughly.
Yeah, someone like Justin Dean. That's the first
Yeah.
person I thought of.
Right? Okay. I mean, first of all, that share is a pretty penny. And I know some people behind the scenes, like the Bat Boys and different people, get that share as well. It's incredible. But if you got that share in Christmas, what are you doing with that money? What's the first thing you are buying if you are that getting 485?
I'd be
That's
at opening day.
and buy me my present,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I can't even imagine that kind of if that money were to hit my account.
Mm,
Uh,
crazy.
I would have to ask the bank to kind of lock my account because there's just no way. Because I feel like I would just irresponsibly just blow it. I'd probably buy a new car though. That'd kind of be like number one. And after that, I don't know. Yeah, I would just tell them like, yo, put limits on my account daily. Just like, there's no way. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That is well for me at least. That would be life changing money. So I can't imagine like for a guy who's like on the minimum basically.
Imagine.
Yeah, that's kind of like generational money. So I bet a lot of these guys probably just ended up just investing it like they always do, um, or
Right.
hopefully they did end up treating themselves nice. And there's a lot of guys on that roster who are not with us no more. Justin Dean was the first guy I thought of. Like that's a big payday. Basically, that's a nice little bonus to kind of end your year. So, yeah. But for me, it would be opening day tickets, and it'd be a new car probably. Don't know
Nice.
what car, but it'd just be a new car.
I'd probably dip out of some people's lives because I don't think I want people knowing that I have excessive amounts of money that know me now, love them. But yeah, I would definitely not be telling everyone. So, but yeah, there could be some season passes for the Dugout Club going on there. That would be probably my dream. Nearby Sandy Koufax, where he sits. That's what I want. But let me ask you a fun question because I want to definitely talk about Tarek Skubal in a second because he's on my Santa list. But before I get to that, Dodgers, this is all hypothetical, it's not real. But let's say the Dodgers host a holiday party. Everyone in the 40 man is there. Okay. And of every Dodger that came, you're a guest. Which Dodger do you think is one doing the cooking and putting coasters down on underneath everyone's drink? And which Dodger is the one kind of sitting on the couch, taking it all in, drinking, and everyone's telling him, don't touch anything? Which Dodger fits those bills?
So the first one that comes to mind for like not necessarily cooking, but I think he'd be a good host, and he's done hosting. Uh, he hosted both after parties, from what we know of. Mookie Betts, I think, from the looks of it, would throw an awesome party, whether it's just hosting, food, good drinks, stuff like that. And the guy that I kind of would want to see on the couch, just like vibing out, kind of just, and he's probably
Can't be
just because
PK.
he's a
Don't be PK.
no, and it's just probably because he's a quiet guy naturally. I think I wouldn't be surprised if like Roki Sasaki would be like just chilling on the couch in his own little world, kind of like having a good time, but like because he's such an introverted person that he's not really kind of like seeking conversation with other people. He's like he's there, like yeah, I'm having fun, I'm like enjoying the vibes and stuff like that. But like I kind of just like let me just sit here to the side a little bit and kind of just avoid the vibes. I feel like there's a lot of introverted people as well too. Like they'll go out to a party, they'll enjoy the vibes, but like after a certain time when like your social battery runs out, you kind of just need like a little bit of low time. So I kind of see him being that guy where he's like, yeah, like I've had a good time, but like right now it's rookie time. I kind of just want to be to myself a little bit.
Is Freddie doing the worm?
Yeah, he's probably like in the, which is funny because you wouldn't think of it, but the past like all the content we got from parties and stuff like that, he's kind of like the And you see it too, like his teammates kind of egg it on, and he doesn't like no, I don't want to do it. No, he'll jump in willingly. So I can see him and Kike kind of like taking turns on the dance floor kind of deal.
I mean, I think he secretly likes it. I really do. I think he pretends like he doesn't really want to do it, but I really think he like is hoping secretly someone will ask him to do the worm. Now, I love Mookie, love his content, love his parties and what we get, but I think he's a little sneaky. And does Mookie have a tattoo artist at his holiday party just to kind of like throw it out there and see what happens?
Yeah, it's just well, you heard Tyler Glasnow describe it like just this mansion of a house, like just
Yeah.
a ginormous like complex he has. That's why I feel like he would be like the perfect kind of like host because he DJs. And this is back before they won it in 24 and 23. They were talking about like DJ Mookie and like in the clubhouse after wins, stuff like that. So I feel like he's the perfect guy to kind of host the deal. Yeah, he's really the only guy that kind of comes to mind because a lot of the other guys would rather be at the party than actually kind of host the deal.
Yeah. I think the Dodger wives would throw a really good party, like, but if we're talking about just Dodgers themselves, but yeah. So now it kind of brings us to what you guys all see on the screen: our holiday wish list. I have my list. I know who I want, but Santa's going to come down our chimney, Anthony, and he's going to throw something in our stocking in the form of a Dodger this off season. What's our wish list?
For me, man, it's gonna if I narrowed it down. I had a few things, but like some of them are unrealistic and some of them are realistic. But the need for me specifically is outfield help, and like in a perfect world, I think I'll say it's the end of the year. If you heard Hotel California blaring through those speakers, game one of 162, that would be such an awesome feeling. I kind of like talked myself out of it so many times. I talked myself right back into it. When that report came out that he wanted like 400 million a year, I talked myself right back out of it. But then they came out saying like, no, those are false reports. Don't believe that. So I talked myself right back to it. So if like January, I don't know, I'll make a day up here, like the 8th, like we get breaking news like, hey, Cody Bellinger decided to like should sign a short-term, long-term or long money deal with the Dodgers. He's 3 years. I don't know. I'm making numbers up here now. 50 million or something. I know it wouldn't be something like that, but I would be like over the moon. And then there's another guy, just like, because I think it would be hilarious if we did it. If like Bo Bichette ended up a Dodger, I think that would melt down the internet more than like Tarek Skubal signing or being traded to us. Because now you steal someone from the team that you just beat up in the World Series in Toronto. He joins your loaded lineup, and we talked about having to get younger. He's still in his like early to late 20s, and it's kind of like one of those guys that you would love to build around, kind of deal. And it like he's kind of one of those key pieces going forward, like who's going to play with Shohei past this certain time, and like he'll be one of those guys. So I feel like that's kind of one of those like it would melt the internet more than like a Tarek Skubal, because I think people expect Skubal to happen, but like I don't think they expect like Bichette probably being a Dodger, which I think would be hilarious. So those are the two guys I have here highlighted.
I mean, it's everyone's part-time job to hate the Dodgers at this point anyway, so who cares? Just get whatever we can get. Let's repeat. So confidence level 1 to 10, 10 being we are repeating, 1 being no way, Dre. What's your confidence level?
Man, right now it's like at a 10 because like the season hasn't started and like no one can tell me anything because I just saw my team go back to back. Like the arrogance is like just through the roof. Through the roof. But like I don't know, when like the first day of pitchers and catchers report, I think that's when I go back to like, okay, I'm back to like a 5. Like let's see like how the season plays out. I'm still like, all right, like someone has to beat us. And until then, I'm not gonna like take the crown off basically. But right now, I'm still like through the roof. I feel like every week I get new highlights and stuff like that, just new insight and stuff like that. So right now at a 10, we'll see where we're at pitchers and catchers reporting.
They're coming for us, Anthony. The whole league is coming for us. Every game is going to be, as Mookie Betts put a couple years ago, their World Series. If we thought it was bad last year, I can't even imagine. And I frankly don't give a you-know-what at this point. I don't care. Let's go all in and let's have a blast because, we had a lot of years that people outside of the Dodger fan base don't want to acknowledge that we suffered and we suffered and we suffered despite what people think. And it's time for us to be on top. So I'm loving that. But yeah, we'll definitely kind of start to wrap up the show. I just want to kind of give like a shout out to all of our viewers. I mean, we have had incredible support for our live shows, our recorded shows, and we just really want to thank you guys. I know we have incredible things coming up in 2026. Producer Roger has a lot of stuff that is planned. We're going to definitely have some guests on the show. We are going to also, you probably have already seen it, but Cody, our co-host, we'll be seeing him too coming in and out, but he started Talking Blue with Cody and Vince on Thursday nights. They do a live show where it kind of gets, in the ins and outs. I know obviously right now it's slow in the off season, but you definitely want to check that out. And we're going to go ahead and be doing some incredible things on the Bleed Lows podcast in the coming year. So I'm very excited. Anthony, what are your final thoughts as you close us out for 2025?
Final thoughts. I'm glad I took that leap of faith back in January and took the courage to kind of just email it. It's been a crazy roller coaster ride. I expect next year to be kind of the same way.
Yes.
I expect to kind of crash out over a random loss to, I don't know, Cincinnati in mid-June, where like the game is completely meaningless, but like I really wanted to win that game and we ended up blowing it for some ridiculous reason. Like usually it's like errors or miscommunication and stuff like that, but I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the future of the show. It's been an awesome roller coaster ride, interacting with a lot of people I didn't think I would ever interact with. It's been awesome. I can't, I'm kind of left speechless. It's been a fun ride, and I hope to continue on this ride.
Same. Cheers to you, Anthony. It has been an incredible ride, and I feel so blessed and so lucky every day to be able to just talk Dodgers, one of my favorite things in the world, and to be able to share that with all of you guys. And obviously, Cody, I'll give a shout out to you because I'm sure you are going to check out this show. And obviously, Vince, welcome to our team. Producer Roger, above all else, thank you for taking a chance on me and obviously putting Anthony and I in the same show because it has been just fabulous. I don't want to let the show end though without obviously giving just our warm wishes and prayers and condolences to maybe a lot of you probably know him. There is a podcast, we're a bunch of podcasts in the Dodger multiverse, but obviously a lot of you know who Jake Reiner is. He is a Dodger podcaster and a really amazing human being. We all know what happened, but we want to make sure that we just offer him our condolences, prayers, and our just letting him know that our thoughts are with him as he navigates this time. So definitely want to make sure that I didn't want to let the show end without saying that. And for all of you guys who have been joining us again, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, check out DodgersBeat.com, and make sure to check out the Bleed Lows podcast for all the latest content throughout the rest of 2025 and into 2026. And don't forget to check out our handles. You can find Anthony on X at Anthony Acosta _. You can find me, Drea, on Instagram and X at Ravine Queen 1958. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of our viewers. And until next time, let's go Dodgers.